Hello, my name is Jakob Munck, and welcome to this short video made the same day that it was clear that UK has voted for leaving the European Union. And I will say thank you to the voters of UK. I think we are standing in front of a lot of problems, but the good news is that now I hope change will come. I repeat, change will come, because EU is an old sick man and no one is able to reform this union. France is not able to do it. Germany don't want to do it. Denmark is not able to do it. Italy, France, Poland. You can mention all the 27 membership countries. They all want change, but change is not going to come before you make a real pressure on the bureaucracy in the top of the European Union. And the bureaucracy is the leaders, the political leaders of the member states. They have a lot of illusions in their head, a lot of sick thoughts, and a lot of bad ideas. And now something will change. I hope so. I hope as much as possible will change because of the British vote for no. Well, let's think what will change. At the moment, I've just been reading the Russian news agency Sputnik, and there I can read that Russia is at the moment creating a unified Eurasian trade space with China. That means a gigantic trade space, not only with Russia and China, but also with a lot of other countries from Asia being member of this trade space. This trade union will be much bigger than Europe, and much bigger than Europe and USA combined, and much bigger than EU, UK and USA combined. I hope they'll get success, and I'm sure they'll get success. The picture of Putin and the Chinese president, I'll show you that picture here. Well, the reason for this union between Russia and China is the idiotic sanctions that USA has forced the European leaders to make against Russia. Russia has done absolutely nothing wrong. They have the right to the ownership of Crimea because of 93% of the Crimeans voted for coming back to Russia. That is international law. The same with Falklands, California, Kosovo, and so on and so forth. International law should be legal in Russia too. Russia has absolutely not done anything wrong, and the Germans and the French, they know that. But nevertheless, they make these sanctions because they are forced by global terrorist number one called Obama and USA. And now, when Britain has left the European Union, I hope they will never come back. Maybe they can make a union with USA. They already have a union with USA. And their influence in Europe will decrease. Remember that all these sanctions, all the NATO build-up combined with EU propaganda against Eastern Europe, against China, against Russia, it is initiated by UK. UK is a sick man in Europe. I know that other countries are sick too, but UK is hateful It is a warmongering nation that has been destroying the European culture and forcing Europe in a very, very militaristic and dangerous way, because at the moment Europe is on the brink to war with Russia. I'm sure the Americans don't care. They say, well, no one is going to drop atomic bombs in USA. They'll drop it in Paris and Copenhagen, London and Berlin, not in USA. But a war will be destroying all the Western countries, and of course it will be destroying Russia too. The hateful atmosphere created by the sick European leaders for the last 5 or 10 years is a disease and a danger for all European citizens. Angela Merkel is probably a very intelligent woman, but in the old days she was able to use her fluent Russian language she learned when she was a citizen of DDR. She was able to use this language talking to Vladimir Putin. Nowadays she's not talking to Vladimir Putin anymore. The sanctions means that now Russia is building up with China, making a gigantic and economic superpower in Asia and Russia, and at the same time the power and the economy of the European countries is decreasing, because you really can't have free trade if you don't buy the goods where they are most cheap. And free trade between Russia and Europe would benefit both Russia and Europe. But Europe don't want it. Why? Because the European leaders are US puppets and unintelligent idiots. That's why I'm very happy that David Cameron, one of the most militaristic and anti-Russian warmongering politicians in England, he has, with his political stupidity, he has been the background of UK now leaving Europe, leaving the EU. That is really good. I love it. I hope that some countries will have the power, the courage to leave NATO too, because NATO is even more dangerous than the European Union. Don't misunderstand me. I'm absolutely for a union of the European countries. But this union should be with independent countries. It should be a trade union with freedom for every country to be the way they want to be. I don't want Europe to be a big Germany, because Germany is a repressed state. They don't even have freedom of speech in Germany, and they are the center of the European Union. They are trying to export their repressive and sick culture, their neo-Nazistic culture from Germany. They are trying to export it to every country. Well, actually, Vladimir Putin, he has adapted some German rules because he wants to be a friend with Israel, as Germany has been for many years. But I think the future looks better today than it did yesterday. The future for my country, Denmark, for Europe. I don't know about England. They must take care of themselves. They have voted for being independent. I can only say good luck with your independence. Thank you, British voters. Thank you, David Cameron, for your stupidity, because this is the reason behind the decisions of the British voters. Good luck for Russia and China and the other countries in Asia building up this gigantic trade union. Maybe sometime in the future, when Europe, the rest of the European countries, going down the drain, they'll find out, well, maybe we should trade with countries where the goods are most cheap. That's not in USA, that is in Asia. That is in China, in Russia. That means we have to trade with Russia and don't try to be idiotic, anti-Russiaphobian idiots. And that is exactly what the European politicians have been the last 5 years. They are brainwashed by the Hollywood culture. They are brainwashed by Obama's hateful propaganda against anything being not Hollywoodish. And they are brainwashed by the nationalistic stupidity that is flowering in every one of the European countries. So this is a good day for all of us. I think maybe, nevertheless, Europe has a future, but only a duration future where we are working with our duration friends and we are letting go the sick culture and the animosity, the militaristic propaganda coming from across the Atlantic Ocean and from Great Britain.